Hey everybody, so I missed a diary entry post due to me running errands and doing my best to spend time with my family and really just reflecting and being alone with myself and, getting comfortable with myself. So I do apologize, but we're gonna go ahead and get started for today's entry. Entry number 4, I believe. So, in the past 2 days, there's been moments where I will get in my head, and I've been practicing one of my methods where if I'm thinking about something negative, I will think about 3 to 5 positive things just to change my mindset in that moment to really just help me reflect on things that I'm grateful for and things that I'm humbled about, just to really keep the negativity out of my head. And it's been working a lot. I have been running errands, trying to get some stuff here and there for my room and kind of change it a little bit just so I could put more of myself into the room. And I've been buying things because I have a special person's birthday coming up, so I'm trying to get that situated. And then I've been buying Christmas presents here and there, so I've just been on the go for the past 2 days. So it's not that I was being lazy or didn't want to post, it's just when I have a lot going on, sometimes it's hard to find time to sit there and film. And I was going to film the other night, but I was just really exhausted from the day, so I kind of just went to bed and got up early the next day to do my errands and really just focus on the things that I needed to get done. I finished one of my paintings that I was really excited about. It didn't come out the best way, but it's okay because that's what art is for. I have been journaling every day. I've been doing things that are making me stay positive and really just out of my head and really present and grounded on the things that I am in control of day to day. There is moments though where it gets rough, and this is what I mean by, you can have a good day but still have moments where you're not okay, and it's okay to not be okay, but it's also okay to be okay. And I know that sounds really confusing, but it really does make sense when you're practicing as much as possible to not be ashamed of your struggles, but also not letting the struggles get to the point where they're just going to completely take over. Because there was a lot of times where I would get in my head and I was struggling a lot, and that struggle would really take it one step further than it needed to be. And I would look back afterwards and be like, I really should have fought a little bit harder to not allow that to happen, because it just made things worse than they needed to be. So that's something that I've really been reflecting on, and I even started doing research into attachment styles and which one resonated with me the most. I even took a quiz just to see where my attachment style lied, and when I found out what type of style I had, I really started researching and looking into ways of coping with it and healing from it personally. And the attachment style that I resulted with was an anxious attachment style, and it involved a lot of abandonment feelings and feelings of neglect from loved ones and friends and family when they're not constantly giving you attention and giving you all of this affection that you are yearning for. And it's not that it's a bad thing, it's just I'm learning now to give myself the attention that I'm seeking. And before I even knew what attachment style I was, I knew that there was things that have caused me to really feel neglected from people that I love and people that I care about, and me not dealing with it and me not allowing myself to heal from that, I feel has really affected certain relationships in my life. And now that I'm aware of it and now that I know how to cope with it, I'm just doing everything possible to really move forward in my life when it comes to my attachment style, because I do want to heal myself and really come to the point where I would be considered a secure attachment, which is a whole different thing, but I'm not going to get into it right now because it's just a lot of information, and I don't want to bore you guys either. But if that's something you feel you want to look into just to see where you lie on that spectrum, it really gives you a lot of insight on, well, wow, I've never thought of my behavior doing this and this is this way. And, there were things that I looked up when I was researching my attachment style that were considered pitfalls, which is basically holes that you dig yourself in that cause you to really give into your attachment style. And a couple of them that I found, I realized that I did. And one of the main ones was worst case scenario, because when I get really anxious and really in my head, especially when it comes to my significant other or best friend or a family member, the first thing I go to is a negative worst case scenario. And that's not healthy, and that's also not good, because then what that does is it messes with your reality and really makes you start believing what you're thinking in your head, which is obviously 97% of the time not true. And so that was something that really spoke to me and really stood out to me, that I'm like, okay, this is something that obviously is affecting my attachment style and what's causing me to be even more anxious than I need to be. And I started, looking up ways to cope with it, and one of the main things was practicing mindfulness, which is really hard to explain. I feel like the definition varies just a little bit for each person. For me, it just is practicing how to be grateful and, really allowing myself to focus on being as present as possible, and to realize, whatever's out of my control is not in my control, and that's okay. And everything that I'm thinking in my head is 97% probably not happening as I'm thinking it. And so it just really has given me a lot of insight on the things that I'm working towards and the things that I'm changing about myself. And it makes me really happy that I am becoming more aware and more knowledgeable of the things that I can change that are in my control. And it just makes me happy that my growth and my progress is going to get 10 times better now that I know how to stop my triggers and know how to pinpoint what it is in that moment that I'm feeling and what's going on and what's causing it to happen. And sorry, I probably went on a big tangent, but that was just something that I felt I wanted to share with you guys, just because I found that really insightful when you do get really anxious, especially like me, and you have certain things in your past that have obviously affected you in adulthood that you maybe haven't really tackled. And so I don't really know how else to explain it. It's just, it gives me a peace of mind and really calms me inside, because I've had the tools in front of me this whole time, and now that I'm finally learning to and finally catching on to things, it overwhelms me with joy that I am gonna be better and I will be better. And I am honestly excited to have a better Christopher, a worry-less Christopher, a non-anxious, someone who's always in his head Christopher, and that just makes me really happy and really excited to grow from this. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys for today's diary entry, and I hope you guys continue supporting and watching, and I love you all for supporting this whole journey that I'm going on. And yeah, so I will talk to you guys next time.